Hello, ladies and gentlemen, my Dark Knights and the Bat Brand Yu-Gi-Oh family. I want to just say, first of all, I'm back again with a new deck profile for you guys, but this isn't just any deck profile. No. This is it should have been a first place topping list from locals tonight, but I'll explain why later. Why I didn't get first. Shout out to Chris. It was a great finals match. I had to play tier back to back. By the way, if you guys don't know, this is Chimera branded. This is branded Chimera. The deck I placed second at tonight at the locals up at Comics Vault in Altoona, Pennsylvania. I would have went. I could have got first. So I'm going to explain why I could have got first tonight. I forgot Super Poly. I confused away my opponent's monsters. I could have did that and chose not to. But I will fix that. That will not happen again. But we have a deck profile for you guys here. Now, I will say this deck is going to change once Yugioh comes out. With Age of Overlord. Once Age of Overlord comes out, this deck is going to be a little different, because Tau, I think, is at least a 1 or 2 of. He's a good extender, and then Baphomet, I would say the Baphomet is at least a 1 or 2 of in the extra as well. The Baphomet fusion, but we'll get into that shortly. Let me go ahead and roll this back. So, first things first, the Chimera package. Let me go ahead and we have 3 Mirror Sword Knight. 3 Mirror Sword Knight. These are probably, I think that, and the guy I'll talk about shortly, Buffa is one of the Baphomet. Kodal, 3 of as well. And then, of course, the other 3 of is... but these guys, you pitch the Kodal, you discard them, and you have them in your open hand. That's already full combo in 1 card. Where, unless they ash you or imperm you. But it's really, if they imperm you, they dodge imperm. They only really get hit by ash. Kodal, you pitch the Kodal, add this guy, and then for cost, on a quick effect, on either turn, you quick effect, send him, and you can get a monster that mentions Chimera Fusion. So really, it's any of these things. But you can basically go into that. But basically, these are the guys you're going into. You're going into Gazelle, but the guy you're always going into is Buffa. Baphomet these nuts. Baphomet these nuts, ladies and gentlemen. But you're basically going to go into that. But this is the package. Some people say play 3. I tried it for a little bit. But if you draw Baphomet and you don't have Chimera Fusion, your hand is bricked. Like, you have a terrible hand. And then it's like, well, what do I do now? I'm just going to sit here and cry. So it's like now you're just like, well, what do I do with that? So, yeah, that's the basic package for that. Really didn't feel like I needed a third at any point. There was the last game in the finals against my final opponent against Game 3, or Game 2. Where was the Game 2? Yeah, it was Game 2, because I got Game 1, and Game 2 against against his tier limit deck, he brought out Grapha, did some things. I tried to work around Grapha, but I found out a lot of my names were gone. That's the only time I felt like I needed the third Baphomet, and I wish I had it. But there's going to be some added stuff here come in the future. So, yeah, that's pretty much the package. You're probably wondering what the branded packaging is. When it first came out, I did use kit and used a lot of stuff, but I'm going to get into what the package for it is now. The package for it is now, it's just 2 Albaz, 1 Mercur. I can search off the Tri-Brigade, the Brigand, and 3 branded Fusion. So branded Fusion obviously is 3. It's the start of the deck. And if they ash it, they ash it. rest in peace to those people who get ashed off of Branded Fusion. That there isn't much that really needs to be said off that. But I was tinkering with 3. I was thinking maybe 3 Fallen of Albaz would be pretty good. And then I decided, no, you know what? Let's go to 2. Let's see how it does. I really never felt like I needed a third. I really didn't feel like I needed a third. Because really, you're only using 1 from the Branded Fusion. You Branded Fusion, you Albaz, and a Gazelle. You send both for the fusion of Rinbrum. And then Albaz, you can bring it or the Albaz back from Rinbrum in the grave on your opponent's turn. And then really the second one's just in case. So like really, like I don't use that much. And Mercurier's just a negate on a summon, so, or like anything really. It's just that. So, oh, and also Brandon Lost and Brandon and White are the other 2 branded spells we're doing. Brandon Lost, pretty good. Brandon White didn't really come up that much. It may come out in the future, but it's still handy. 1 Poly, no use for that. Just rather relates to the Poly. It's another fusion spell, and I can use that for really any of my fusions and its protection. The Bestial package. I have this. I want a 3rd Bestial Druid Swarm to throw in here if I need, but I think this is good enough. I didn't feel like I needed more, but they didn't really come up too much today, which is sad. I really wanted them to. The other hand traps, 2 Nib. You may be wondering why only 2s. You'll see that shortly. 2 Nib, 3 Ash. Ash is the best hand trap right now. 2 Imperm. And that's it. That's really it. I was looking to play Droll for a little bit, played Effect Veiler a little bit. I think these are the best hand traps right now. And you guys will see why. I only played 2 ofs here shortly. Board Breakers, 2 Radiant. They can be searched. They're Fiends. And then, of course, I need to get a 3rd of this guy, but Cash the Fenrir. There ain't much that needs to be said off of that. And then Called By, and then this is why all the 2 ofs are in here. Cross-out Designator. Cross-out Designator's in here to deal with I lose to Droll, so I side the Drolls in. If I know they're playing Droll, I can Droll them, use the cross-out. I need another cross-out Designator to really help with that, and then some other tech choices. Pearly, those are for Pearly. If or like some other things that they play, like decks that, you know, like link decks or something like that, I can book them before they link off into something like that, and that stops those plays. And if they're not, you know, and then 2 Triple Tactics Talent, and that's pretty much it. The 2 TTs, I was thinking of playing just, I did have one of them in the side, but I decided, you know what, just play the second. A lot of 2 ofs in this deck, so, and then we'll do the extra deck here real quick for you guys. My thing is gonna die, ain't it? One sec. Alright, we're back. Sorry about that. But we're here with the extra deck. Okay, so the extra deck it's very heavy on fusions, but I'm trying some stuff to, a lot of this stuff does lock you into fusions. Chimera Fusion, I don't believe does, but Branded Fusion will, and some other stuff. I played Branded, or Fusion Deployment for a little bit as well. 2 Chimera, I never felt like I needed a 3rd. These 2 were just so good for this strategy. When you can, this thing was the MVP of this deck. So I was playing a tier matchup in the middle rounds. I think like right before I faced the final, and I hit some bangers. I believe I played a Manadium Scareclaw list, and he flipped the I turn 1 had Chimera out, and then Rykart. I pitched the Rykart out of his hand off of Chimera, and that was it, because that was like a starter. And once he knocked out the starter, it was like game, because I had that Rinbrum. I had a Guardian Chimera ready to go with Chimera Fusion down on the field, because it's a quick play, It's bonkers, guys. It truly is, and I'm really looking forward to what this deck is going to come. Guardian Chimera, I need a second.